what you're saying. Nani? Get out my business, okay?
Hey, how you guys doing? My name's Heero. This is the Identity Booth, and on this show, our goal is to try and identify with you as you try to identify with us. Let me say that slowly and hope that you grasp the concept. Our goal is to identify with you as you try to identify with us. It means we're trying to meet somewhere in the middle. It means that we're trying to have an argument or a debate with good intention and faith behind it. It's not for theater. It's not for shits and giggles. The things that me and Eric talk about on this channel, especially when we talk about healthcare, as we are both healthcare providers, we say it with the intentions of saving someone's life, because a lot of people that look like me don't get the benefit of the doubt in the streets or in the healthcare industry either. Black families and people of color smile when they see me walk down the hallways, and it gives me a sense of urgency to keep pushing forward. I can understand when certain people who look like me hesitate to the sound of government healthcare, because there are people who are alive right now who know about getting government healthcare and still are suffering from the side effects of being treated as test dummies. It's a real thing, and I can't sit here and argue it. We talked about a story earlier in the week about a nurse who had trained medically for 7 years to become proficient at emergency medicine as a registered nurse. And she fell for the debacle of misinformation. And it's sad. As much as I hate the anti-vaxxer movement, it's sad that people like this are really suffering and dying. But it begs the question, and this is me reaching on the other side, and I don't want to come off as doucheous or dickbag or anything like that. What do I have to do to help you get pushed to the next side? What do I have to do? Like, if you want to use your leader, Trump, right? Is if I brought Trump on stage and had him profess that the vaccine is good and ready and useful, would you do it? Because the stats show us that 99.2% of people dying from COVID are not vaccinated. That the increase of 122% in cases are coming from people who are not vaccinated. We know that of that 122% that were polled, a staggering 75% of them see a Republican reason, and the remaining don't believe the process was vetted enough. And I get it. If you're sitting there saying that we've never seen a vaccine come out like this, well, this is also further proof to your education on the matter. It's not really a vaccine as much as it's an mRNA. Oh, I don't want it messing with my DNA sequencing and structure. There are limiters based in the proximity given proteins with special types of triggers and holders that direct these things to go into certain areas. It's the molecular body as we know it. There are trained professional scientists for hundreds of years who have been doing this. And our technology is so sufficient now that we know this. And furthermore, speaking to the booster version of this, the mRNA, it's actually being led by a woman. It was led up by a woman who didn't get credit in the past for it, but her research is now coming back to save our asses. It's crazy. You should be honored to be given this vaccine. It's a true testimony to our validation of science in our strive to survive in the most harsh terrains. But if that's not enough, if the proof of the pudding's not enough, let's hear it from the man himself, right? Let's hear it from the man himself.
We're just days away from authorization from the FDA, and we're pushing them hard, at which point we will immediately begin mass distribution. Before Operation Warp Speed, the typical time frame for development and approval, as you know, could be infinity. And we were very, very happy that we were able to get things done at a level that nobody has ever seen before. We're very hopeful that the FDA will authorize the Pfizer vaccine within days. We've got to get it moving. And Moderna vaccine almost immediately thereafter. Large numbers of tests and samples have been done, so hopefully that'll go very quickly. If authorized, tens of millions of vaccine doses will be available this month, and we'll get it distributed very quickly. We have that all set, and hundreds of millions more will quickly follow. Every American who wants the vaccine will be able to get the vaccine, and we think by spring we're going to be in a position that nobody would have believed possible just a few.
So that's him saying he wants everybody to get the vaccine as soon as possible. He literally led the charge. Operation Warp Speed was all about getting access to the vaccines to the American people as much. He took the vaccine. This was recorded December 8th, 2020. Not even a whole year ago. Check out my man today.
Anti-vaccine language of the right-wing media that Republicans aren't getting vaccinated because they don't trust the Biden administration politically, even though, remember, even by their claim, Biden had nothing to do with making the vaccine. This is the Trump vaccine. Now, of course, you and I know Trump didn't really have anything to do with the vaccine other than he agreed to have the government pre-purchase some doses, which most countries do. And we'll get back to that. But let's first look at the statement that Donald Trump put out here through his Save America whatever. Okay. Joe Biden kept talking about how good of a job he's doing on the distribution of the vaccine that was developed by Operation Warp Speed, or quite simply the Trump administration. So Trump's taking credit for the vaccine here. He's not doing well at all. He's way behind schedule, and people are refusing to take the vaccine because they don't trust his administration. The bottom of it's just off screen, and I apologize. They don't trust the election results, and they certainly don't trust the fake news, which is.
And that's what this story is really all about. It's about someone who's upset that they don't get to claim the glory that his predecessor, past or present, his future, the next guy in line. When you don't know the big words you're using, use the simple combination. The next guy in line. He's mad that the next guy in line is getting credit for something that he could have done. He's mad that the person in front of him is getting credit for something he thought he could go without. Accountability. And that's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to. Now, hear me out. I'm outside. I'm fully vaccinated. I'm cool. I am good with that. Am I prepared to take this goddamn shot every year? Yeah. No questions asked. As a person who's lived my life, medicine has been a big part of it. So I don't see a problem with this. I'm more interested in understanding what it's going to take to get people who don't want to take this. Because the Delta variant is going to continue to get bigger, badder, and stronger. And if you're not willing to protect yourself, what is it going to take? And I want you to understand that this Republican outcry, this push from the far right to get away from, like, there's stories about don't get vaccinated because if you get vaccinated, you'll shed your antibodies onto me and that could kill me. There's so many things coming up. But I want you to understand it's just really bipartisan theater. And that's going to be proven in this segment right here. This is Senator Paul, who knows nothing about the medical community. He is a loaf. But even though he gets destroyed in this debate, that's not the point of this debate. The debate is to show someone theoretically on the right side standing up for a bunch of people who are willing to die for their beliefs. And the worst part about it is the belief they've been told is a complete lie.
Dr. Fauci, knowing that it is a crime to lie to Congress, do you wish to retract your statement of May 11th where you claimed that the NIH never funded gain-of-function research in Wuhan?
Senator Paul, I have never lied before the Congress, and I do not retract that.
This is Dr. Anthony Fauci. He has been the leading epidemiologist for 4 sitting presidents. on both sides of the aisle. It wasn't until Trump got in office that this guy was a nobody. He has to have 24-hour security by his house now. It's maddening what happens when you let your feelings run wild.
Statement. This paper
That's that emotional intelligence we was talking about earlier, right?
that you were referring to was judged by qualified staff up and down the chain as not being gain of function. Let me finish.
You take an animal virus and you increase its transmissibility to humans.
Right.
You're saying that's not gain of function?
Yeah, that is correct. And Senator Paul, you do not know what you are talking about, quite frankly. And I want to say that officially.
Get 'em.
You do not know what you are talking about.
Get him.
Okay, you get one person.
Let's read from the NIH
Chair, can I
definition of
answer
gain
the
of
question?
function. This is your definition that you guys wrote. It says that scientific research that increases the transmissibility among mammals is gain of function. They took animal viruses that only occur in animals and they increased their transmissibility to humans. How you can say that is not gain of function?
It is not.
It's a dance, and you're dancing around this because you're trying to obscure responsibility for 4 million people dying around the world from a pandemic.
And let's let Dr. Fauci.
I have to, well, now you're getting into something. If the point that you are making is that the grant that was funded as a sub-award from EcoHealth to Wuhan created SARS-CoV-2, that's where you are getting. Let me finish.
We don't know.
Well,
we don't
wait
know
a minute.
If it did
I
come
can-
from the lab, but all the evidence is pointing that it came from the lab, and there will be responsibility for those who funded the lab, including yourself.
I totally
This committee
resent,
will allow the witness to respond.
I totally resent the lie that you are now propagating, Senator, because if you look at the viruses that were used in the experiments, that were given in the annual reports, that were published in the literature, it is molecularly impossible.
No one's saying those viruses caused it.
It
No
is
one is alleging that
molecularly.
those viruses caused the pandemic.
And notice, once again, Senator Paul is a fucking idiot. He knows nothing about molecular biology. He knows nothing about zoology. He knows nothing about biology. He knows nothing about chemistry, epidemiology. And he's interrupting the leading physician in all of those fields. One of these people have gone to school for their lifetime and have stayed on the cutting edge of technology to keep us safe. The other one, shout out to the 3 people that just popped up in YouTube. Say what's up. The other one is a fucking idiot, repeating talking points while his state suffers in the pandemic, while his state is one of the worst producing states, while his state is utter gutter trash.
What we're alleging is that gain of function research was going on in that lab and NIH funded it.
That is
Can't
not-
get away from it. It meets your definition, and you are obfuscating the truth.
I'm not obfuscating the truth.
Senator
You are the
Paul's
one.
time is expired, but I will allow the witness to.
Let me just finish. I want everyone to understand that if you look at those viruses, and that's judged by qualified virologists and evolutionary biologists, those viruses are molecularly impossible
No one's
to
saying
result
they are. No
in
one's saying those viruses
SARS-CoV-2.
caused the pandemic.
Senator Paul,
We're saying they are gain of function viruses because they were
They're not.
animal viruses that became more transmissible in human, and you funded it.
And
Don't
you
admit the truth.
and you
Senator
implying
Paul, your time has expired, and I will allow witnesses who come before this committee to respond.
and you are implying that what we did was responsible for the deaths of individual. I totally resent
could
that.
have been.
And if
And
anybody
it could
is
have been.
lying here, Senator, it is you.
You love to see it.
Hey, NBC News viewers,
Hey, shut
thanks
up.
for checking out.
We didn't ask you all those questions. You love to see it. But ultimately, what it comes down to is this windbag. It all started with this windbag. Let this marinate on you. Let this bear on your chest. He's hindering the livelihoods of 10 million people because we know that people will vote for him. We know that people will listen to him. He could easily fix this, but it's not a problem he wants to fix for someone else because when he had the opportunity to fix it for himself, it didn't look too advantageous. COVID is beyond real, it's beyond dangerous, and it's beyond resolved. This is not going away. And it's not going away because the medicine doesn't work. It's because the people don't. And if there was to be a culling of the people, and this is how it had to happen, while sad, I don't want to go back in the house for 13 months. I can't go back in the house for 13 months. So when the government starts to take more grandiose steps to make sure people are healthy and safe, I'm going to probably have to look the other way. Because for the first time in a long time, it's undeniable to me. It's like, what more proof do you need? Millions of people have expired. Hundreds of millions of people have expired from this. So what's it going to take? That's a question for you to answer. Are you vaccinated? Are you not? Why aren't you? What is your reasoning behind it? And would you be open to hearing the truth about why or why not your opinion is faulty? It's part of the emotional intelligence part of this conversation. You got to have that to engage with me. But really all you need is a phone and some internet to actually watch this on Twitch, on YouTube, on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Anchor, iTunes, Spotify. We're literally everywhere, guys. You can help us out. And, look, I got a nice girlfriend. She likes nice things. You could help me get her nice things by subbing to the channel. Twitch is my baby. If you have an Amazon Prime account, you can link those two together and subscribe to the channel. But if you want to be more hands-off, you want to be the side chick, I get it. YouTube is the spot for you. Sub to the channel, like the channel, send some love to the channel. That's what it's really all about. We appreciate you guys being here with me. This is the conclusion of the show. Nafi, what the hell is the goddamn score? What is the score of the game, Nafi? And T, are we still playing games? T said we're playing games tonight. I don't think that's a wise decision for me. It's already 9 o'clock. I haven't done anything to get ready for tomorrow, and I have a big leg day in the gym tomorrow. So I want to be well rested for that. So for me to you guys, get some rest. Take care of yourselves. Wear your goddamn mask. Let me switch over to my other screen.
Slow it down and we can catch the vibes. But it's so hard to find through the daily grind. Been working overtime. And I'm sleep deprived. Shorty on my line and we fuss and fight. Seems like every night. Don't care who's wrong or right. I hope the end is sight. Slow it down and we can catch the vibes.